What up? Welcome back to Quad Vision. The Frog Race 218 is flying. I took it out on a maiden. It worked pretty well. I upgraded the beta flight. It's pretty freaking awesome. Definitely really sexy and really compact, low profile. I'm still waiting on a better antenna from Banggood. You know, it's freaking, what, 4 weeks waiting or something. But you know how that works. In any case, I had a little trouble getting my antenna attached. I don't know how people are going to attach it to the back here. I have a pigtail for my VTX for this antenna, and it would not fit in the rear here, so I just stuck it up one of these slots here. This will allow me to have room up front for a GoPro, although the Frog Race does not come with a GoPro mount. Kind of annoying. It's always nice to have a GoPro mount. You always want to be able to get that really high def footage going. Of course, if you're just a pure racer and you're never gonna do that, you know, whatever. In any case, in this setup with all my components, let's see what it weighs. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. I'm in grams here. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. It's coming up about 306 grams, really all in. It's got everything on it. Everything except for the battery. You know, it's got the props, got the receiver, got the antennas. This is a super light setup, but it's not the lightest 5-inch out there. I've got an all-in-one FlyTower F4 stack in the middle there. This is super compact. If anybody's going to build this, you're going to really need a very compact setup. This all-in-one has like 2 levels, 2 stacks there. And then I have a micro receiver attached to the top plate underneath here. It's a RadioLink. It weighs 1.5 grams. It's super small. It's like the FlySky FS8A or whatever that thing is. I had some issues with that receiver. I had some fail-safe. You go on RC groups and you'll see a whole slew of problems with it, although other people have no issue with it. So I'm not really happy using the FlySky micro receiver. So I went with the RadioLink. It's even smaller than the FlySky, but for this build, the point is you really need super compact and small components, lightweight components, because of the incredibly small amount of space you get. Look how low profile this quad is. Just for comparison's sake, we have other pretty compact quads here. We've got the JJ Pro P200 here, which is an absolute beast as well. And for the money, it's a super value. As we speak right now, what is it, like April 19th, 2017? This quad is on super sale. The Almost Ready to Fly is literally $103. Insane for what you get. It's got the classic Emax red bottoms, which by themselves are like, I don't know, $65 on Banggood. In any case, this is a super deal, but we're not talking about that. This quad weighs 325. This quad all in is 306. But as I said before, this is not, even though this is super compact and low profile, it's not super duper light compared to the Fury B futon, which is 275 grams in this configuration. And is also not as low profile as the Race Frog. The Frog Race is super duper compact, which is like really attractive, although it's not the lightest. So this Fury B futon, I'm loving it. Super duper light. It's probably light because of these really low profile motors, and very little going on. There's literally one plate in there, outside ESCs though. But this is 275 without the GoPro mount. So apples to apples, 275, 306, 325 in the exact same, with the exact same components, or not the exact same components, but having all the pieces together for flight. The Frog is not really difficult to build, although some small drawbacks, as I said before. I'm not really sure how many people are going to fit their antenna on here, or mount the antenna. It doesn't really, for me, it completely did not fit in this rear area. To keep weight down, I trimmed back the XT60 connector severely, and it's perfect the way it's working here. I have it strapped down with a zip tie for extra integrity, strength and integrity. I'm using the Foxeer Monster 16:9 camera, and it's actually, from my experience, excellent. I don't have a lot of experience, mind you, but I don't, I want to run 16:9 cameras, and this camera thus far, honestly, has very little or zero latency. I do not perceive any latency as compared to the latency in the CCD camera here in the Fury B, Futon, or the basic CMOS camera here in the P200. So I'm really happy with this camera thus far. As far as this is my setup for the Frog Race goes, the extra weight, that's probably occurring here. I thought it was gonna be lighter when I read all the specs online and I added it up. I thought it was gonna be closer to like 285 all in, but probably wasn't accounting for all the little tidbits here, like the tape and the strap and the bottom plate or the battery plate. This antenna probably doesn't help. My pigtail for the VTX is really too long. It's like kind of spiraled around in a circle inside here, inside of the frame. But what can I say? Thus far, I've only flown it like twice. I haven't really gotten a good feel for it. It's pretty damn cool looking, but I have to get used to it. And so far, it's got a ton of power. The configuration I got going here, I'm pretty darn happy with it. It wasn't totally cheap, but it was very reasonable with all my components. Pretty premium components. I got an F4 flight controller. I got pretty good camera. I got great value, but not highest performance motors. All in, this was about 215. So I mean, that's pretty darn good. But when you consider that you've got a quad over here, which is probably going to be just as fast, certainly not as high performance components, but the motors themselves are probably higher performance. This freaking thing is only $103 on sale right now on Banggood. Like, OMG. Like, what the F? That's crazy. I paid more for this, but I got it on sale too. It was only like 130 bucks. But I'm like recommending to all my buddies, who are certainly, if you're starting out, this is a great beginner beast. This build is pretty awesome. I'm just gonna have to get some more videos going. I will post some more, and I will post the maiden along with this. But this is just for comparison's sake. These are pretty darn cool and great value quads. This is my performance quad. This is the value. This is performance, ultra lightweight relative to what's out there, or what can be done as of today. The future with this industry, this hobby is evolving so rapidly. It's from everything I've read, even though I'm a total noob, it's like I'm in shock as well. I mean, wow. Awesome. So I hope hope this helps. I don't know what else I could say right now about the frog race. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message on YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer. This is just one sexy beast here, and if you put some super high-end motors on here, if you're a racer guy, I mean, look at this low profile. I mean, this is really, I guess, in terms of profile, in terms of design, engineering, it's really out there to compete with the Diatone Crusader GT2. I would not, at this stage in my hobby career, go out and drop $300 on a quad. That's just the way I am. I'm always looking for value, which is performance price ratio, and that's really gonna end up over here right now. Especially even if you bought this and then, because it's got a Naze board, got the P200, got a Naze board, and you upgraded the camera and the flight controller, you know, what would you add an extra $40 for $145? You would get an absolute beast over here. And this quad is literally only 20 grams heavier than the frog race right now. So I'm not upset with this decision. I'm very happy with this quad. It's just unbelievably good looking, but at the end of the day, I want something that really performs well. I want it to look good, yes, but you want it to perform, and that's probably, at the end of the day, the most important thing. I think most people would agree. I haven't put an LED and buzzer on here yet. So this is actually going to get a little heavier. Maybe like 310 grams maybe. I still have to install that. So in the end, this is probably going to weigh like 310. I don't know if I want to keep this exact configuration. This receiver is a micro receiver. It's done well for me. I haven't had any problems with any brownouts out to probably 150 meters. I haven't been totally comfortable just flying it out to 200, 250 meters, but I will test it. And thus far, I've put this RadioLink micro receiver in a few builds, and I've had zero problems with it. Although I really don't fly very far. You know, if I fly 200 meters, that's about as far as I want to get away from where I'm flying with these race drones. So it's working plenty good. Plenty good. In any case, I hope this helps. There's not a lot of information about the Frog Race 218. I think Drone Mesh is building a really cool looking one. But I don't know why he's using the Frog Race Light, which is actually heavier than the one-piece bottom plate Frog Race standard. For me, at least, I don't want to have to have extra screws and extra pieces. I prefer to have one solid bottom plate. You know, the frames nowadays are so damn cheap. Some of them, you know, like $20, $30, $40 at the most, you know, is what I would probably drop on a frame. $40, yeah. So this one, I got this one right here for what, $36 on everbuying.net. But you can totally get it off Banggood for like $38. So that's very reasonable. And if you it's got a 4 mil bottom plate. If you would break it, you know, it's not the end of the world. You drop another $38 or whatever you need. So for the extra lightweight design, for the extra strength of a single bottom plate, you know, that's just how I prefer to roll right now. But what do I know? I'm the total noob. All right, man. Ladies and gents, I hope you guys had a good time, and you know, send me any questions. And you know, right now I would recommend this drone frame, this quad frame. The only drawback right now is small drawback is that it doesn't have an easy way to mount your VTX antenna, and it doesn't have a GoPro mount. That's the only real cons I can identify at this moment. Welcome to Quad Vision. Peace.